Hello everyone, my name is Holly and I will be the trainer for this hour. I will be teaching a reading exercise on internet addiction. So we'll talk about different, we'll go through different vocabulary words, do a reading exercise, and discuss the different words. Okay, and my computer just froze, so. Anyway, yeah, so that's what we will be doing is a reading exercise. We will do a reading and go vocabulary activities and then discussions. So here is the material. I'll get the link for the material. Hello, Araceli. How are you today?
Hi. Well, I'm more or less, I'm a bit tired, but
Are you tired?
yes, yesterday I was very, very tired. So I went to bed very early, but no, I don't know, maybe I'm coming with a flu or something.
I've been wondering the same thing. I've pretty much been sleeping probably since Friday. I've been sleeping all the time. And I'm not sure. It's like, what's going on? So, yeah.
It's hard to adapt maybe to the work, to the right rhythm or now that the fall is coming. I think maybe days are shorter. I don't know. I'm not very
Yeah.
energetic.
Possibly that could be it. It just different things. Who knows? Have no idea. I just know that I'm like have not been feeling myself about a week. So I totally know what you're saying. So yeah. But do you get sick really easily, or do you is it do you get sick rarely?
No, I think I get sick rarely. I can't afford to get sick very often. I usually am very busy, so I'm not. My kids, they are more or less usually sick, but I am not.
Okay. How old
So
are your kids?
no, the girls is 9 and my son is 4.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought your kids were teenagers, but that's what you teach. You teach teenagers,
Yes,
right? Okay.
I
That's
teach
why
teenagers, but my own they are younger.
they're younger. Okay. Yeah. And do you teach full time or do you teach part time?
No, full time. Well, full time at just in the mornings because our school is from 8:30 in the morning till 3 p.m. So it's just
Ah,
the mornings that I'm
okay.
at school.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes it really nice when you have kids at home yourself. So, is
Yes, it gives you free time in the evenings, but in the afternoons, but I'm very busy because the moment I get out from my work, I have to take care of my own children. So
mhm, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. My sister taught high school English for a while, and when her kids came, she just couldn't do it. So now she's at home with them full time. So just because she just couldn't teach, she was just not interested any longer in teaching. So maybe that was the main thing. So,
well, actually, I changed my job because before I
uh-huh,
had my children, I was
uh-huh,
working with computers, and I would get home about 8 p.m. every day,
uh-huh.
so and leave early in the morning, so I couldn't manage to take care of my children. So the moment my daughter was born, I just changed my job.
Okay, and that's how you got into teaching.
Yes.
Yeah, because you mentioned something that you had worked in computer programming and stuff like that, and I thought, well, that makes sense. Somebody who's into math would would be able to do that really well.
Yes,
So,
most of the people who were working at that time with computers programming were mathematicians or physics or physicians.
physicists,
No, physicists.
physicists. It's
Okay.
hard to say.
Yeah, but because there was a lot of job in that field in that time, it was like the beginning of the century, and there was a lot of job there, and they didn't have enough people who had studied computer
Hmm.
science, so they were hiring people who were, well, I didn't really study anything related to computers, but
Ah.
I don't know why, but we are more suitable to learn how to program and all that.
Oh, I think so. I worked this last year with a lady who also was a mathematician. She worked for Micron Technologies for probably about 10 years. And they make a microchip for the computer. And she ended up moving into training, but she was an engineer type and so forth. And she said it was because of the math that she was able to get into that. And then she became a trainer through that. But I tried to get her to teach English, not English, teach math online, but she wasn't interested. She needed to work at a location, so forth. So yeah. All right. So right now is it 7 a.m. in Spain?
Yes, it's 7 a.m.
7
I
a.m.
haven't
Okay.
had breakfast, so I'll have breakfast in 30 minutes, more or less, I think.
Oh, wow. When
Yeah,
class is over.
yes, the thing
Yeah.
is, when I wake up, I'm having a pill that it says you have to wait for 30 minutes before you eat something.
Oh,
So I,
really?
yeah, I have these pills every day.
Oh,
So
okay. So.
yeah, I have to just wake up, take it, and wait for maybe an hour or half an
Uh-huh.
hour, and then
So.
I have some coffee or something. But I'm
So
starving.
okay, wow. So you take the pill, then take a verbling class, and then right after the verbling class, you eat. So,
Yes, or I have no, I can't wait too much. I will pick up a coffee and and have my
during
coffee
the
while.
class.
Yes, I can't
Yeah,
wait. I need
I
caffeine on my veins.
in your veins.
Yeah.
I can't. I cannot eat first thing in the morning. Um, when I first wake up, I have to at least 20 minutes to an hour, and then I'm ready to eat, but not right away. I don't know why, but
That happens to my daughter too. She wakes up and never wants breakfast. But she has to wait. She's hanging around, maybe watching TV or something, and then she says, "Now I'm hungry." But when she has to go to school, she doesn't have too much time, so I have to tell her, "Have breakfast. Come on, you."
yeah, yeah. I remember when I was a kid, my mom she would get up and she would make breakfast for us all, and none of us were interested in eating, except for we had 5 kids in our family, and we always had one or two extras that were friends of ours, you know. So,
Wow.
and it was usually not the 5 of us that would eat, but it was the other kids that would all like eat. So, yeah.
Your mother was very brave with all those kids. Go off.
Yeah, we always had at least one extra in our family when I was until my brothers moved out. But my 2 older brothers always had friends with them. So, hi Ake, how are you today?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Very good, very good. How's life in Japan right now?
Kind of, it's a calm autumn day. Autumn
Is it?
here is a little bit clear, and yeah, maybe clear sky
Mm,
continued almost 1 week. Sunny,
okay.
yeah.
No rain or anything like that?
Yeah. So autumn is one of the best season in Japan.
Okay, I need to.
Mhm.
So is that when you suggested I come?
Yeah, autumn and spring, May and October. Yeah,
May
it's
and
the best
October.
season. Yes, the best.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
the former Tokyo Olympic was held in October because it was the best season. There's
Okay.
not so many rainy days here, so.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I'll have to figure out a way, you know. So, yeah, I've been trying to think of different ways because now that I'm working on the internet exclusively, all I need is to have internet will travel. And so I've been coming
Mhm.
up with different schemes where I can go somewhere. So, but anyway, all right. Well, the topic today is internet addiction. Are either one of you addicts to the internet?
Yes,
You are addicted?
I think
Okay.
so because
Uh,
yeah.
Ellie, are you addicted to the internet?
I don't know, Pervin addiction maybe. We
Yeah.
are Pervin addicts because we take a lot of classes. I don't know, maybe sometimes I felt like I was an addict.
Yeah. I am definitely an addict, but I know that I can um, be cured of it if that makes sense. So, my sister and I have been in the States. They've talked a lot about. I don't know if you guys have seen on cable the movie, the TV show called Preppers.
Mm.
No.
And these are people that are preparing for some type of a disaster. And my sister and I have talked about it the last 24 hours a few times. What would happen if we had no electricity and no power for 3 weeks? You know, and what would we do? How would we live? And because we are so addicted to the internet, and I think that I would be fine. I just grab my books.
It would be hard if you had no electricity, not that for the internet. You wouldn't be able to cook and
Yeah,
to travel. Many problems.
yeah, we would have to. Well, we would have to. I'd probably spend much of the day preparing for because it would be like 100 years ago. So we would have to spend much of the day preparing for food and cleaning and stuff like that. But also, I'm like, I thought to myself, I haven't read books lately. I think I want to go back to reading books.
But
So,
you need a candle to read books if you have no electricity.
sure, it'd have to be during the day. Yeah. That I wouldn't be couldn't be a night owl because it'd be dark, you know. So, anyway, so when was I want to change this question to instead of when was the last time you used the internet, let's talk about when was the first time you used the internet. Do you guys remember the first time you used the internet?
Yes,
I
I
think
remember. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Sorry. Good. Yeah, the first time I connected internet from the laboratory at the university,
Uh-huh.
I found amazing world. I found amazing world. Wow, I can
Uh-huh.
connect with a lot different side overseas.
Hmm.
Right, amazing. So after I connected internet, maybe I spent 5 or 6 hours in in that laboratory
Wow.
until the class starts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
So
the starting point of my addiction.
what did you do? Yeah, that was the starting point, huh? What did you actually do during that 5 or 6 hours? Did you
Actually,
just Google things or
there's no Google at that time
it's
actually.
before Google?
Maybe
Okay.
I use Yahoo or something to search, or maybe I had kind of Buckingham Palace start internet or something. I found the news on paper newspaper probably. So
Oh,
I
okay.
tried to connect by using the internet.
Okay.
So I actually connected the site and I was moved. Wow, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my first experience
Experience.
of the
Okay.
internet. Yeah.
All right. And how about you, Artheli? Your first time you used the internet?
I think I remember that. I was at college and we had computers in a computer's room.
Uh-huh.
So I went there and I had heard about the internet, but I have never tried. Maybe this was in the 90s, I believe. And
Uh-huh.
uh, the browsers were different. There was a browser called Netscape,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's
it
still out
was
there, by the way.
no, it was very hard to use that. But
Uh-huh.
I remember there were no search engines.
Mm-hmm.
Google hadn't been invented, and I think there was like Yahoo or Excite, but they weren't working properly. I didn't know how to use them, so I
Mm-hmm.
had an address, an internet address written on a paper, and I tried to type that, but it wouldn't work.
Uh,
Probably I misspelled it, and I didn't know how to do anything, so it was like error, and I said that this is really difficult for me, and
mm-hmm.
I left that. I don't know what the following day I don't know. I suppose I managed to
Uh-huh.
to 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 browse something, but I remember that day. I had a bad experience, the first experience.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, for me it was August of 1996, and it was right before I started graduate school. And I had gone and I bought a brand new Macintosh computer, and I had heard about America Online, so I set up America Online, and that's where they would say you'd get online and they'd go, "You've got mail," they'd talk to you, and I didn't actually use the World Wide Web for a long time because I didn't understand it. But I used America Online and for a long time, and I don't even think the AOL is the same as it was back in the 90s. Um, and I used that until I went to Finland, and then in Finland I realized, oh gee, there's a whole world out there. So that was my experience as well. So okay, were you also in the 90s?
Yes, somewhere in 90s. Before
The
that, I
90s.
bought a second-hand computer, but it was not a different system of Windows, so I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
connect to the internet.
Uh-huh.
So I go to the computer lab to connect the internet after
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Did you guys have dial-up? Because I remember, Araceli, did you use dial-up compute when you did the first time?
Dialogue.
I'll write
Uh,
it down.
what do you mean?
It's called dial-up. Okay, right now we're probably
Yeah.
all on broadband.
Yes, no, it was no, because it wasn't at my home, so
Uh-huh.
I used the computers at college. So
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know how that was, but
It was,
because
yeah.
we didn't have internet at home in that period,
Uh-huh.
almost nobody will have it.
Yeah, okay. Because I started the first time was at home and I used dial-up, and it was like, dee 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 dee,
Yeah.
and yeah, a university. Oh, would use it there too, but my very first time was right before I went back to
Yeah.
universities.
Janet Jackson sampled that sound
Oh,
in
did
her
she?
song. Yeah,
Oh, really?
it's included in the Rhythm Nation album. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was
Um,
cutting it at that time.
yeah. Okay. So now the other question they have here is when was the last time you used the internet? Well, we're all using it right now, and we all looked up verbling. So so let's look at some vocabulary here. We need to match the word with its correct definition. What is the verb to tweet? What does that mean?
Send a message using Twitter.
Okay, perfect. And do either of you have a Twitter account?
Yeah.
Yes?
I have one, but I never use it.
Okay. Um, so when was the last time, okay, that you tweeted?
Maybe right before the class, I
Hmm.
found the article. Usually, I, retweet the article on Twitter,
Hmm.
because I can use it. How can I say, as my favorite button, like on the
Hmm.
Internet Explorer.
Oh, I
Now,
get it.
yeah, so it's more to easy search for my favorite title or article.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't tweeted in a long time. It's probably been a week or so. For me, I used to be, when it first came out, I came out on lists and I was one of the top 100 tweeters in Finland when I lived there. Um, but after I came back to the States, I lost interest in it and I stopped. And so every once in a while I'll tweet something and I'll try to remember to tweet. And I have like about 2,000 followers and most of them are legitimate. So, but I was really surprised when I realized I had that many. But I got on all these lists 4 or 5 years ago and I think I'm still on some. So, right. In the flesh, that's an idiom. Does anybody know what that means?
I suppose it means face to face.
Absolutely right. It means face to face. Okay. Endlessly.
Maybe no ending, continuously.
Okay. Is that
Re-
word there?
repeatedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have to be repeatedly because it continuously isn't there. But I would say that it continuously makes more sense. Okay. The norm. Or I'm sorry, excessive. What would excessive be?
Too much.
To
Too much. Yes. Okay, and the norm.
standard.
Standard, yeah. Norm is short for normal. Okay, and power down.
Switch off.
Switch off. Okay. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to read this text about internet addiction, and well, we need to put these four words in here: interrupted, available, problem, and advance. Okay. So I think I might write these up on the top. So available, problem. What was the last one? Advance. Okay. Okay. So, okay, could you read the first paragraph?
Okay. I know I have blank explained 25-year-old Chuck Harris. I know I have uh, a, available experience or
No, it would probably
advanced experience.
no,
No,
probably be the third word.
I have a okay. I
Pro
have a program.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I have a problem. Okay. Can you read the rest?
Okay. I have a problem. Explain 25-year-old Chuck Harris. Okay. My whole life revolves around the internet. I can't stop myself. First thing in the morning, last thing at night, and still
Surreptitiously.
repetitively at work.
Surreptitiously at work. Hmm.
I'm endlessly updating my Facebook account or tweeting something. I never seem to talk to people in the flesh. Instead, it's all done online.
Okay. Chuck's addiction is a growing problem worldwide, with excessive internet use affecting millions of people's lives. Araceli, can you read the next paragraph?
Commentators say that the problem is only going to get worse. Within the next few years, Wi-Fi will be available everywhere, and all telephones will be so-called smartphones. Social messaging is already becoming the norm, and those who have opted out of social messaging services such as Facebook or Twitter will find themselves increasingly marginalized by society.
Okay. Okay.
If you're finding yourself using the internet too much, there are practical steps you can take to deal with the problem. Experts recommend fixing some offline time to the day when you abstain from all things connected to the internet. Let your friends know in advance that you are taking this step and can only be contacted by telephone.
Okay. Separating your personal life from the office can be difficult in the 21st century. Make sure that you keep separate email accounts so that you don't automatically receive personal emails at work or business-related messages at home. Okay, Araceli.
If you need to go a step further, you can stop your computer or telephone from connecting to the internet automatically. This means that conversations with friends or meal times with the family are not interrupted by message notifications. You can even set your router to power down during certain hours so that it becomes impossible to connect to the net.
That's what you have to do with teenagers. Turn it off at 11 p.m. Whatever method you choose, willpower is the key to success. As the internet becomes more important in our lives, finding the balance between the online world and the real world will become increasingly difficult. Okay, first of all, let's talk about some words that you do not know. My guess is the first one is surreptitiously.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody know this word?
It's a difficult one, but we have almost the same thing in Spanish. So
Oh, do you?
well, it's not spelled the same, but it's
Okay.
similar.
Okay, do you have an idea of what it means?
No.
Okay, it's a word that is in my passive vocabulary in the fact that the only time I use it is when I read it. I would never, maybe after this lesson I might use it a little more, but I would never think to use this word. And what it really means is secretly.
Oh.
So surreptitiously is secretly. So he tweets or he goes on to Facebook secretly at work because you don't want, if you do it outright, many people would be upset.
Mm-hmm.
So does this sound like anybody you guys know?
I think nowadays some company or university check what side what side did you go? So it's a bit risky.
Well, I know that the company I worked at actually blocked Facebook, so you couldn't go to Facebook at all. And I thought it was pretty surprising, but I guess it's the norm for a lot of companies now to block social networking. They didn't block. What I found interesting is they didn't block LinkedIn, but they did block Facebook.
I think it's hard because, for example, where my husband works, Google is banned, but I mean, they can't check the Google emailer or they can't access the Google Drive, but maybe they can access some services. It depends. And I think it's not a good idea because they were using the Google Mail for work because they didn't have an email account from the company because they were just there uh, for a short period of time, so they didn't have. So it was hard for them, and
Wow.
they
So,
learned that for work. But it's supposed that they will use the Google Drive. They use it for work. They upload documents, so they have to use a how do you call that?
SharePoint?
Uh, this device that is a memory stick because they can't use
Oh.
Google Drive.
Really? They have to use it's called, there's different words for it, but one of them is called a thumb drive.
Yes, a pen drive or something
Thumb
like that.
drive, or and also a memory stick is another one that's used. Those are the two main ones.
USB flash or something? Flash memory?
Okay, USB drive, yeah, USB drive. That the thumb drive and the memory stick are the two that I use. So
Mhm.
USB drive. So if they use so how they use the thumb drive, but like say for example, if you put something up on Google Drive, then you can send it to people to share with them so that they can see it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how were they able to do that with thumb drives?
I don't know exactly. I suppose they have some other mail account or something. But for my husband, for example, for him it was difficult. He has a lot of things he uses,
Hmm.
and he had them on the cloud because and then he had to copy them and and
Uh-huh. Okay.
pocket the device. But
Hmm.
sometimes the companies are trying to avoid people, for example, to chat,
Hmm.
but they use it also to chat for work because they work in different parts of the building. They don't have an office together, all of the team, so
Hmm.
they have to communicate with the people who are in different places. So it's very useful to have to chat, but they are not. They ban this.
So
The
if they banned Google, they've probably banned Skype as well.
Yes, yes, of course they don't. But it's okay that you don't
Yeah.
use Skype at the office, I think,
Yeah. Well,
but
Skype has a really good IM system where you can instant message people.
yes, yes. Well, I don't know what they were doing because
Huh?
sometimes they don't allow you this, you find another way. So it's not so
Uh-huh.
hard. But
Yeah.
that is the problem too. I found in one school that I was working, Blogger was banned also.
Blogger was
I didn't
banned.
understand that. I needed many blogs for my
Uh-huh.
work.
Uh-huh.
So suddenly I tried to show something to my students and it was like, this is not allowed. And
Wow.
SlideShare also, it was banned because
SlideShare was banned.
yes, and there was a message
Wow.
that said this site is hosting uh, mm, 18-year-old content, I mean pornographic content or something. And I
Uh-huh.
was in the middle of the class and I was trying to show them a slide about functions, and then
Uh-huh.
it appears that message saying this is bad content for kids. And I said, oh my God. I mean, sometimes they are trying to improve cutting things and they are not doing well and it's worse. And
Wow.
if you really want to access some kind of uh, content, you are going to do it. So
Uh-huh.
they just prevent you to work normally in your everyday life, I think.
Mm. Yeah, that's amazing. I have thankfully, like when I worked in Finland, I worked at a school. It was just a couple hours a week. I was a conversation teacher there. It was a high school, and they didn't block anything. Nothing was blocked. And so I find it very strange when I hear that teachers are not able to access things because of my personal experience. It just blows me away. I understand in a company if they want to block Facebook, but to block things that allows them to do their job, SlideShare, man, I used to use SlideShare as my backup in case had I couldn't upload my PowerPoint or something. I could at least access SlideShare.
I suppose
So,
someone uploaded a presentation to SlideShare who was, not right, but there
uh-huh,
are thousands. It's the same thing with Blogger or
uh-huh. Oh yeah.
WordPress. Maybe some blogs are not right for the
Uh-huh.
kids,
The
and they
kids.
ban the whole site.
Uh-huh. It's like I guess my sister got into a fight when she was a teacher. She got into not maybe not a fight, but it was an intense argument with the vice principal because had blocked it was something that's called Lily, which is basically the online library, for the state of Idaho. And my sister is a certified librarian, and she just could not believe it. But they had banned it because you can get all types of books there. And she's like, no, you can't do that. My students have to use this for research, you know.
Oh, yes, sometimes they are. The problem is that they use automatic services, I think, or I don't know. I think being too restrictive doesn't help your employees at all.
No, not at all. So I was under the impression that it was only American schools that had the blocking, but I guess it's not true.
No.
It's everywhere. Wow, wow.
Well, it
So,
depends because at my school it's funny. In some of the computers, they access a firewall or something, and then you have
uh-huh,
this blocking, and on some of them, and in a different network or something, I don't know exactly. You don't have that problem, so it's like it's crazy. Some
uh-huh.
of the computers have been. They sent them to us with all these restrictions, so they are not useful at all. You can update programs, and they are like very strict. These computers are nobody uses them. We use laptops, and we can
Mhm.
install that there, whatever. So I think they spent a lot of money in these computers, and nobody's going to use them because
Mhm.
every time you want to do something, there is a message. You can do this. I say, okay, I go to the other
I'll
one.
try something else. Wow, wow. So, all right. Okay, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Awesome. Okay.
Now I can only use Google Chat, so I
Okay.
cannot,
Well,
yeah,
okay.
find
Well,
open the
I'll
find
use
link.
Google Chat on that then,
Mm.
because I go back and forth between Verbling, and I
Ah,
didn't
thank you.
see the notification that you were back. So do the schools block internet access to teachers in Japan, or do you know?
I don't know exactly, but it's likely to happen. But I don't know. But I heard, some companies or some school has, the record exists, they're
Mhm,
recording which site you go, which
mhm,
activity you do on the internet. So
mhm,
I'm careful about that. If I use the computer on public,
mhm.
yeah, my so
Yeah.
probably yeah, and sometimes I got a kind of message from people who are working on Skype. Probably they are killing time with chatting with
Mhm.
me. Yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
I thought so. Yeah.
Uh, it's interesting. I have when I was in Finland, there were several companies that
Mhm.
told me. One of them was a Oh, I remember they sold piping around the world, and the
Mhm.
other company was a newspaper, a local
Mhm.
newspaper for that area, and they
Mhm.
used Skype
Yeah.
exclusively. The newspaper did it
So.
internally, where they would have chats between each other, and the
Mhm.
piping company actually used it for international calls.
Mhm.
And so I find when I came to the States, I found it very strange
Mhm.
that companies were you know, outlying Skype and outlying all these places. I'm like, really?
Actually, I heard some company has a rule not chat with face to face. You can talk somebody uh, by a message or
Mhm,
probably email or something.
mhm,
Some especially IT company require that to the workers, and some worker prefer to ask via emails
Hmm.
because he said we can keep the proof what we
Yes.
said.
Uh-huh.
That kind of very difficult, complicated business negotiation
Yeah.
something. So some people prefer contact with people
Hmm.
in text
Yeah.
in such reasons.
There's accountability there if you
Mm.
put everything in email. In fact, I am like that when I was a supervisor and my employees would ask me a question and say, can I do this or can I have such and such off or whatever, I would say, well, you need to send me an email about that. I'm not going to remember this conversation.
Mhm.
Um, and if you don't send me an email, it probably didn't happen. So that kind of thing. Um, but I also am the type of person, I do not like people standing behind me when I'm at the computer. So
Mhm.
especially if they are standing, depending on the person, but most of the time, if they're standing on my right side, I can't handle it. I don't like people behind me, and so I prefer that people, like for example, my sister and I were working on a project together.
Mhm.
Yeah, we live in the same building, right? And so she
Mhm.
said, "Well, let's come and work on it." I could not handle her working on the uh, working with me. It's her standing behind me at the computer. So I
Mhm.
actually asked her to go to her computer in the next room, and we would screen share on Skype. And she thought it was so weird. She's like, "Why would you do that, Holly?" But it was really because it's my personal space.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I feel the same thing. If someone is behind my computer, I don't feel well, actually. Yes.
Yeah, it feels strange. So,
Mhm.
Araceli, you thought that was funny?
Yes.
Yeah, she thought it was hilarious.
So
We developed a website together. So,
you have a problem. You can have relations personally with people. You need them to communicate with you through the internet.
yeah, that's it. That's it. Especially if they're in the next room. No, just go get online. We'll talk about it online. But actually, what we would do, she ended up when she'd come into the same room, and I mean, when she finally realized it had more to do with people standing behind me, she would bring her laptop into the same room, and we would screen share, and we would be looking at the same thing on the computer, but we would still be talking face to face. So.
Oh, that's better. No, I understand what you're saying. That sometimes I was in my work and many people, I had to explain something to the people and there were like five people looking at my computer and for me it was really uncomfortable that. But some of them, for example, my kids at school, my students at school, they have to share sometimes the computers and work together in pairs. So they
Mhm.
have to do that, and sometimes they fight for it. No, I want the keyboard. No, give me the mouse. They fight for the control of the computer if they are sharing it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it is true. I mean even my sister's kids, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're fighting for these little tablets. Well, I want to
Yes,
so
sometimes I show a video to my daughter, and she doesn't want me to have the keyboard. She wants to control the thing.
everything, yeah. And well, and the 2-year-old that my she's a foster girl, a little foster. Do you guys know what foster children are?
Yes. Adopt.
Araceli, do you know?
I don't know exactly what do you mean.
A foster child is a child that is here
Ah, foster.
temporarily because the parents. Anyway, she's going to be going home in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to miss her so much. She's been here since she was a year old. So
Yes, yes, I know. You
anyway, yeah, she's 2.5 years old, and when she'll sit on my lap and she'll start pushing the my screen. I don't have a touch screen, but she'll push the screen that she can, because she's used my iPad enough, and then my sister's kids have Nobbies. Do you guys know what a Nobby is?
No,
Oh,
no.
It's a child's tablet, and
Uh-huh.
it's targeted towards children. And my sister and her husband got them about a year ago. No, I guess it was last spring for their kids, and they can drop them, and they have plastic. It's like they have plastic around them, so they don't break as easy.
mm.
And then they have the apps in it are targeted for kids, and she absolutely loves it. We're like, we should have got her a Nobby too, but we thought she was too young. She wouldn't understand. So, but anyway, let's go on. If you remember the article we just read, why is Chuck Harris unhappy with his life? I didn't think he was.
He was
Maybe,
complaining.
yeah. His whole life revolves around the internet. I
Okay.
cannot stop
Oh,
himself.
because he can't stop himself.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Well, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, well, if he doesn't meet people face to face, that's his problem. You know? Do you guys meet people face to face?
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
sometimes. Sometimes not, but sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do. Yeah, for me, sometimes and sometimes not. It really depends. I got I got a text message from some colleagues, and they were like, said, Holly, let's get out. Let's go. Can you meet us for dinner at 6 p.m. tomorrow? And I was like, oh, wow. I'm taking the kids trick-or-treating tomorrow. So, do you guys know this?
Yes,
Trick-or-treating.
sometimes
Halloween?
it's hard.
Yeah, but
Trick or treat?
trick-or-treating, but actually what
Yeah.
we're doing, we're going trunk or treating. And it's the night.
Um,
It's Friday night. Is Halloween, and my sister and her kids will take her sister and her husband will take her kids trick or treating, and that's going to different people's homes. But trunk or treating usually happens by different organizations. The week of the week of Halloween, and tomorrow night a local college has about 30 different companies that are going to be there, be at this trunk or treat, and they'll be going to different cars, and the back of the trunk will be decorated, and the kids will be given candy. They'll just go around.
Kids will give candy to them?
Oh yeah, that's what
Oh my
that's
God. I see.
the trick or treating is. You either get candy or the kids give you a trick. So
Mhm.
they get these bags of candy. That usually, if parents are smart, they still have them at Christmas time. So,
Mhm.
um, but and some parents actually take them to work. So Aratheli's gone to get her coffee. So we'll have to ask her how her coffee is. Okay. So number 2, why is the problem of internet addiction going to get worse?
Why? When was with the next period? Uh, Maybe Wi-Fi will be everywhere. Ubiquitous environment uh, will be is available now.
Yeah, it's gonna and smartphones and
Yeah.
I have 2 smartphones because I had one for my foreign exchange student,
Mhm.
and I called to cancel it, and she
Mhm.
said, "Well, why don't you just get a tablet? It'll, and it was going to be $40 a month less." So she said, "And the data will be combined with your cell phone, so
Mhm.
you can." Yeah, I'm like, "Okay, that's great. I'll get a tablet."
Nowadays, many people have a cell phone and the smartphone.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, people
Well,
prefer to talk on cell phone, but another activity they do it on smartphone.
yeah, I have 2
Mhm.
smartphones.
Oh
So,
my God.
so
Maybe Android and iPhone, probably.
well, I have a Windows and an Android. Um,
Mhm.
if you play a lot of games and you do a lot of use a lot of the apps on the smartphones, I would suggest not to use a Windows
I see.
because there's not as many apps out there.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's a Nokia, and I really like that. But
Mhm.
I can't play any games. So, number 3, what 3 practical steps can you take to reduce your internet usage?
First step. Uh,
See if we can find it.
practical step you can take to deal with problem. Fix some offline time through the day.
Mhm.
And how can I say, separating your personal life from the office
Mhm.
can be difficult. No, not this sentence. Uh, Maybe different having a different email account,
Mhm.
probably business email account and personal email account, maybe.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Mm, and final solution is stop your computer or from telephone from connecting to the internet automatically.
Yeah. Yeah. So set the modem to go
Maybe
off at a certain
yeah,
time.
internet first.
Mhm. Yeah, and just not make it available. I think I know how to do that, but I haven't done it yet. So
Mm.
yeah, and internet fast. Do you think have you ever done that? Okay, can you go on an internet fast?
Not intentionally, but when I don't have smartphone, so when I go out,
Mhm.
I rarely connect to the internet because my contract of cell phone is I kind of how can I say, more economical, most economical one. So
Mhm.
it's not packet free. So if I connect to the internet, it's cost very high.
Mhm.
So I rarely connect internet outside my home. Or I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
I think it's in that way I can keep balance
That's
probably.
good. That's good. I started in Finland connecting to the internet outside my home, and it was probably a big mistake. All right, Ellie, how's your coffee?
It's good, it's good.
That's
I
good.
couldn't wait anymore.
Yeah, I know. When you said back, I said to Ake that we need to check how your coffee is. So, um, okay. The question, all right, Ellie, could you take an internet fast? Could you stay off the internet for a certain amount of time?
Internet fast. Yes, I think I could.
Okay.
Absolutely. I sometimes I not in the last years, but maybe a few years ago
Mhm.
when I was on holiday, I
Mhm.
I didn't have an internet connection and I was okay.
Yeah.
It was good. The only thing when I came back home, I saw my email inbox and it was like 1,000 messages. Okay,
It had
I will read them.
exploded.
Yes, but I didn't miss it really in that time. No, I don't
Okay.
know because lately I have a laptop and a mobile connection, so I
Uh-huh.
have internet everywhere I go.
Me too. I'm like that. It's like, yeah, and so I have to go to the mountains away from that won't allow me to do internet if that'll work. But all right, let's see if we can do this vocabulary matching. Number 1, if your life revolves around the internet, which one is this? Do you often think about the internet? Your job is related to the internet, or the internet is the main thing in your life? Which one is
Men
it?
men thing
Okay.
probably.
The third, yes, the
Yes.
third
Okay.
one.
Okay, and I'm just going to put a star here. If I can find it, where is the star? Okay, I'm just going to put a symbol on here. Well, anyway, I couldn't do it. Okay, number 2. Okay, could you read the correct sentence?
Okay. If you do something superstitiously,
Surreptitiously.
surreptitiously,
Surreptitiously.
surreptitiously,
Surreptitiously. Yeah. Okay.
surreptitiously. Okay. A correct sentence? If
And yeah, finish it.
you do it secretly. You do it secretly.
Okay, yes. So if you do it surreptitiously, you do it secretly. All right. Number 3, Artheli, could you do this one?
If you opt out of social messaging services, you choose not to use the services.
Perfect. Okay. And number 4, okay.
Okay. If you're marginalized by society, people think you are strange. People think you are important. I think both can work, or strange or important.
Yeah, in this respect, we're talking about actually about unimportant.
Mhm.
But in some certain respects, it can be the second one.
Mm, mhm.
It, it really depends on the reason you're marginalized. But in the article, they said that people who are not online, who are not connected,
Mm,
will be marginalized. They will be
mm,
thought of as
I
unimportant.
see.
I don't
Mhm.
completely agree with that, but anyway. All right. Araceli, can you do this one? Number 5.
If you abstain from the internet, you don't use the internet.
You don't use the internet yet. And this word abstain from is also a word that in American English, we use when we talk about alcohol. To abstain
Mhm.
from alcohol. It's commonly used that way. All right. Let's see if you can use these words in these sentences real quick. Number 1. Okay, can you try that? Liz has.
It has Blanc joining her family over the summer vacation. Uh, abstain?
No.
No. Uh, actually, you choose not to use. Uh, it has uh, number. What?
Oops.
Oops, sorry. What is number one?
It is number 1, the answer. No, it's not number 1.
Oh, oh, not abstain. Opt out.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Liz has opted out of joining her family over the summer vacation. Um, I've I've never used it that way. Opted out to me is if you opt out of a mailing list or if you opt out of something online.
Mm,
So maybe it's because I'm an internet addict. Number 2, Araceli.
The elderly often feel um, marginalized. No one listens to what they say.
Which I don't think is really true either, but some people, it probably should be some of the elderly often feel marginalized. So, okay, number 3, okay.
Justin is supposed to be on a diet. However, he repetitiously has a
Okay.
cream and cheese bagel before bed.
So he surreptitiously has a
Uh,
cream cheese bagel before bed. Yeah, so, I spelled it wrong. So up,
mhm,
sir up, then
uh,
surreptitiously.
mhm.
Okay. All right. Araceli, number 4.
Since he got married, Andrew has abstained from all alcohol.
Okay. And from all alcohol. Okay. And then number 5.
Julia's life seems to uh, uh,
Is there number
her
1?
job. She never has any time. Resolve
Resolve around her job.
her job.
So Julie's life seems to revolve around her job. She never has any free time. Okay. So you can like you could also say Julia's life seems to revolve around her kids or her family, or it resolve around. I put resolve and it's revolves. Okay, Holly needs to go to bed.
Oh,
Okay,
good night.
it's 1 a.m. So well, thank you guys. I'm glad to know that I'm not the only internet addict here on Verbling. Revolves around her job, and I'm sure we'll get help one day. So, okay, and thank you very much, and everybody. I hope you have a good day and have a good evening. Yeah, and both of you have a great day, or continue to have a good day. I'll sleep well. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
See you.